Just don't F me up.
All right, welcome back to the shit show. Welcome to Just Don't Eff Them Up podcast. We're here, we're doing things. For your listening treat today, we have just the two of us.
It's the two of us. You and I. Do you hear me at that low note?
I'm impressed. That
I'm
was
probably most comfortable singing as a male alto.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've thought about it. I think my go-to karaoke song now would be I'm Just Ken by Ryan Gosling from the Barbie movie.
I've been doing a lot of singing in my Mariah Carey voice for
Oh,
the season, you know?
yeah. Tis the season to sing Carrie.
La 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 la. Um, my kids hate it, but once again, I don't care.
Yeah. I saw this TikTok of this mom going fa la 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 fucking la. And I was laughing so hard because she was like wrapping presents. It was one of those videos of like moms do literally everything to make the holiday work, and she was singing that while doing everything.
Okay, do you know Big Time Adulting on
No.
Instagram? Okay, find her. She's amazing and hilarious. And she was posting this video. She had like overlaid a like rap and then was literally just like dancing, like back and forth, whipping her hair around, like doing all the things.
Yeah.
And it was like, I forgot to add a couple things to my Christmas list. I would like a gumball machine that pops out Xanax and a couple other things. I was just dying.
Oh my gosh.
It was so funny.
So good. That's super funny. That's clever. If we would have heard that at work, we would have been like, oh, red flag. But outside of work, we're like, yeah, man, that's so funny.
I'm like, can you send me the link?
For a Zanny gumball machine.
Like, I don't want to have to put pennies in it either. I just want to crank it and
Yep. If other people could pay for it though.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
That would, I guess, count as drug dealing.
Not sure. That's a gray area.
That's
Maybe we'll have to have a police officer on and check things out.
Oh my gosh. It's like when you go trick-or-treating in those houses that are passing out those like little shot bottles. And it's like, are you checking IDs?
Mm-hmm.
That's do you have a liquor license?
We live in a really small town, so no one cares here. Like the one that I stopped at this year wasn't even passing out the small bottles. They just had the big bottles and they were like, yeah, pour yourself a shot.
Pour it yourself? That's when you know you have met a very gentle soul. Someone who is like, I give, give, give.
Mm-hmm.
Even if my cup is empty, I give.
Mm-hmm. The most generous soul.
Yeah. This is what we do. And this is what I think makes us relatable is that we came into this episode with the intention to talk about like the kitschy therapy stuff we've been talking about to like explain it. But instead we've gone on a rant about Xanax, drinking, drug dealing.
We've really made it full circle today.
Oh, if anybody's still with us. Today we want to talk about I'm kindly using the word kitschy with love, kitschy therapy terms, because I think social media has made therapy a little bit more acceptable. People talk about going to therapy more openly, perhaps. Depends on your culture, I'm sure, familial system. But I think, realize that we just say therapy terms and not everybody knows what we're talking about. Even if you are in therapy, you don't know all the words. I don't know all the words.
So,
I
get a lot back from my husband that I don't always need to use therapy terms, that I can just talk like a normal person. And I'm like, isn't this how normal people talk?
We don't know how to.
I've lost that skill.
Yeah. Remember we were talking about like if we were to meet new friends, we wouldn't know. Like if we just went out to like a happy hour with them, we wouldn't know how to talk to them because we ask this. It's normal for us to ask very intimate questions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do fluffy. In fact, I despise doing fluffy. And I think that's put me in a place now where like my relationships have to be like best friendships, or I don't know how to interact with you.
Yeah. Please tell me about all of the hardest things that happened to you this week. And like, did you cry? If not, why? Are you blocking feelings?
Like, if not, why?
Not why. Why haven't you cried? There's no surface level anything.
No. In fact, if you don't share with me, I am offended.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is wrong with me that you're not telling me how bad it is?
Mm-hmm.
You don't like me? I'm very likable.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I'm really likable.
Be friends with me, like me.
Be friends with me now.
Tell me.
Maybe that's why I'm down to like 4 friends now.
The numbers, they be a dwindling.
Maybe a dwindling.
It's fine. It's fine. We have lots of friends. We have all these friends who listen to this pod.
Oh my God, yes. All of you are our friends. And we love you probably more than you know.
Yeah. So if you want to tell us about, your hard things, go ahead. We're all ears.
Yes. Yes. In fact, we would love to do a series of interviews with moms, parents, caregivers, and just like talk about the realistic part of trying to raise human children because everybody's story is unique and special and important. I can't tell you how many people I've said like, oh, you should come on the podcast. And like, I don't have anything to talk about. And I'm like, are you forking kidding?
Yeah. Like, yes, you do. It reminds me, as you were saying that, like, it reminds me so much basically like of group therapy, right?
Yeah.
Like so much that gets brought up and organically just like comes out that other people are like, wait, that happens for you too?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And you tried this? Like, that's genius. Why didn't I think of that? And like, yeah, just regular people doing their regular people parenting, caregiving things. And even if we don't have like a, you do this, it's so helpful. Oh my God. It's still just awesome to talk to people and be like, yeah, this does suck sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, that's cool. It's fine. All right. Let's get down to brass tacks.
This is what the people are paying for.
This is what all these ads are, here for. Yeah.
Let's start with the window of tolerance. Something, I mean, if you put your therapy IV in, window of tolerance is going to be one of those first things you learn about.
Yeah, especially in DBT, which is dialectical behavior therapy, which is the kind of therapy that I do in my practice. And it is basically skills based. You learn a bunch of skills to manage life, right? So, window of tolerance is the space that we have to tolerate the things that are happening. And the more space we have before we go outside of our window of tolerance where we lose our shit, the better off we end up being, right? And so that all depends on where our baseline is. So where we start out. So if we start out, we usually in DBT use like a 1 to 5 scale. 5 is outside of your window, so you have between 1 and 4, or 0 to 4, wherever you feel like you start. Baseline can go up based on lots of different things, right? Trauma, a bad day, getting your period, literally whatever for the day. So it can shift day to day, but your baseline, your full baseline that's in the background is sort of like where you start out each day. So if you're starting out at a 3 because your life is stressful and you have toddlers and you have maybe like the holidays coming up and like maybe you have families and maybe you have homes, pets, laundry, anything that could maybe stress you. Well, then you start out higher and then you have less space in your window of tolerance.
Yeah.
So you start out at 3 and something little happens and you're at a 4 and you go any higher and you then are outside and you're losing your shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we want to pay attention to it, because if we know we're starting out, if I oversleep and then I wake up and my kids have ransacked the entire living room while I've been sleeping and nobody woke me, I might be already close to a 4.
Mm-hmm.
And my knowing that is going to be really helpful in what I do for myself then to help come back down. And then I might not choose to like add in extras for that day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What am I missing?
No, that's like the perfect explanation. The only reason I couldn't look at you is because you were describing our lives. And I was like, if you have homes, you have children's, you have
Maybe
like
if you have a partner,
maybe
it's the 6th season and everybody's sick every 4.5 seconds.
oh my gosh, seriously though. Yeah, there's so many factors and everybody is affected by factors differently. So I think it's hard not to compare ourselves to other people. And it's like really common with social media now. You look at people and like, oh, did you go to Florida for Christmas? Oh my God. Right? Like normally I would be like, oh, it's awesome. You went to Florida for Christmas. That's gotta be so fun. If I'm a 4 or a 5, I'm like, oh, did you? Which is not, I don't want to be that person.
No.
I don't. I think too, like when I first learned the window of tolerance when I was an intern, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I start like every day at a 3 because I'm just anxious. And the more I learned about skills work, I think I felt more hopeful about like, you start your day where you start your day. You're just a human who has emotions. The idea is that when you're tracking your window of tolerance, you can use skills to bring yourself either stay at the same level or come down if you have room for it. And that I think helped kind of give me some hope of like, oh, this is why you do coping skills. And like we've talked about before, like all these things that are like barking about parents getting self-parents, like when could you ever? But that's what keeps us in our window of tolerance or puts us down our window of tolerance. And even if it's tiny moments like coffee, I got new creamer this week. I got like a special Starbucks creamer.
Oh.
And it really does like make my more like I kind of look forward to my morning then because I just put a little bit of like a nice creamer in there. And when I first realized how much joy it was giving me, I felt sad. And then I drank it and I felt a little less sad. And but that's the thing. You're not gonna be happy about it, just less sad.
Right. But it's the intention, right? It's the like thinking about it and the looking forward to it and the, oh my gosh, this is so good because it's a treat thing. And that's probably all most of us have time for.
Yeah, right.
But it's enough. It's enough to shift us down a little bit to give us a little more room to operate. So then when, like somebody decides they don't like their dinner and they throw their whole plate on the floor because they're enraged at what you've bought from the store and brought home and then cooked and served to them, then you don't also have to become enraged because you've given yourself a little more space throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Since I would add some like body stuff in there with like the sensory motor of like when you look at the window of tolerance, you also have the fight or flight response or the collapse response.
Mm-hmm.
And like those are, again, like very normal biological responses that our nervous system has when we're out of our window of tolerance. It goes into survival mode. And your nervous system doesn't have a logic brain, it just has a reactive measure to it. So, like, if we're dysregulated and we get to be a 5, depending on the thing that puts us over, we react either with a fight, flight, or collapse response. And that's just our body trying to get us back into safety. It just doesn't know that sometimes when we use ineffective coping measures like fight, flight, collapse to inform our decision making, sometimes our window of tolerance shrinks. It's harder to get back in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you are a human, you're going to be out of your window of tolerance. And learning about your fight or flight collapse responses is going to be really helpful too. I personally am a fleer. I will just leave.
I wish I was more like that. I get ready to square the fuck up.
I love that about you.
Like, even with my kids, I'm like, come the fuck at me, bro. Like, you want to go here? Is this a choice you want to make? Let's go. Like, and I don't feel like that's helpful very much of the time. Like, because they're just like me. So then we're like, we're getting out the
Right.
boxing gloves.
Right. And these are from like, again, like these biological responses served a purpose. Like when we were cavemen and a tiger was coming at us, we needed to run. And if we couldn't run or find somewhere to go, we needed to fight. It's just ingrained in us. Most people listening to this podcast probably are not encountering tigers on a yearly, monthly, daily basis.
I mean, if you are, we will throw together some funds and pay you to come on this podcast to talk to us about your tiger interactions. So let's just put that out there. Monthly, if you have monthly tiger interactions, please send over your pricing information and we are.
Yep.
Or sharks. And I'd pay double for sharks. I'd pay double for sharks. If you're coming into contact with sharks regularly, I will. Yep, I want to chat with you.
Chat and also be best friends.
I was just gonna say that. Like, we also be friends. Like, we could maybe work out a payment system for that too.
We will pay for friendships. Did you not hear that when we go to happy hour, we don't know how to talk to people? We will pay you to be our friend.
Come on, people.
Yeah, Lee, except we won't have any time to see you.
And we also don't have a ton of money because we work in mental health. So, like, it's gonna be, when I say double, I mean the
quarters to dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not a representation of how much you mean to us. It is simply a representation of our net worth.
And quite frankly, the times.
And the times, we're in a recession, you guys. We work in healthcare and it's a freaking recession.
I practically have to take out a second mortgage to put fruit on the table in this house. The amount of fruit that we go through and the price of it, like, sometimes I just stand there and I'm like, maybe I'll just go get the canned fruit.
Right? We've been doing frozen fruit lately.
Yeah.
It's just so much cheaper. So much cheaper. See, these are the things that put us out of our window of tolerance. The things that we can tolerate. This is another great example, like things that are out of your control. You just have to cope.
And when those things start piling up, they're obviously going to impact us, right? We're not going to stay like super, well, maybe some people do, but we all know, you've heard from me. I don't. So climbs and climbs and climbs and climbs. And then you get, I always think of like the 17 hours between like 4 and 7 p.m. by the time you get to that point of the day, some stuff has been happening for everyone, right? Like, this isn't just us, this is the kids too.
Yeah.
Everybody's teetering on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I dare to cook the wrong dinner or put the wrong fucking sauce on someone's plate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yep.
They're outside of their window of tolerance, and I don't have any space left in mine. So then everybody's outside, and we're basically boxing and having a food fight.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not hard. I think another thing we can talk about with the window of tolerance is the triune brain. And we kind of look at the brain in three major parts. You have your frontal lobe, your midbrain, and your reptilian brain in the back here. And so that frontal lobe is all of your logic, executive functioning, decision making, pros and cons, math. The midbrain is your emotions. That's where your amygdala is, and your amygdala kind of informs your emotional reactivity. And your reptilian brain is all of that automatic functioning, your breathing, blood pressure, all of that stuff. All of those are constantly in communication. So if we're out of our window of tolerance, our reptilian brain is going to increase our blood flow. It's getting ready to box or flee. So our blood flows up, our breathing is faster, our digestion slows down because it's giving resources to other parts of the body to help you fight or flight. Your emotions are probably informing your decision making at that point. You're angry, you're anxious, you're sad, you're whatever. And it's become so large that you were in this like reactivity place, impulsive. Our logic brain, which is usually where we want to make our decisions, kind of goes offline because it's sending its chemical resources to the other parts of the brain so you can fight or flight. That's kind of what, again, like that fight or flight reaction, if you're having it, is just because you're a human being in a human carcass. You're supposed to react to that. The problem becomes when we're reacting like a tiger is attacking us, but because we spilled sauce on the floor. Or these things where it's like, I wouldn't normally react to this singular event this way, but because I have been treated like shit all day long, sauce on the floor is my last straw. I'm done. So then I go into, or I put my spoon down and I walk upstairs to my room and I say, don't come in here.
I need to do that more.
To be fair, if you flee, your TV is breaking.
Yeah, it's already broken. So now I don't have to be afraid of that because she broke. She broke in. So
yeah, God bless Miranda. Everybody just say a prayer for Miranda right now.
Say a prayer that some divine intervention will happen and we will have a new TV for Christmas. Because Hendrix has broken 4 TVs thus far. And I just really don't feel like putting any more finances into giant liabilities.
Yeah.
I gotta get a new one because I bought them a video game for Christmas. So like Cody was like, send it back. And I said no. Because also it's a Super Nintendo and I would like to play Donkey Kong and Mario Kart.
Oh my gosh.
Mario. So
can I come over?
Yes.
I want to pretend to be 14 again and play.
Let's eat junk, but drink alcohol and play Super Nintendo.
Oh my gosh. Do you have Tums or should I bring my own?
Oh, I have plenty.
Okay. Yeah. I can indulge in some salty, fatty foods if there are Tums present. I'm already at the max dose of Prilosec. Cheers. I should be good.
Cheers. I'm at the max of famotidine, aka Pepsid. So.
And then My doctor who prescribes me the Prilosec was like, you shouldn't need to take Tums if you're on 40 milligrams of Prilosec every day. And I was like, really? Because I do. I have to. If I look at tomato sauce, I don't even have to taste it. I just smell it. And my body's like, I can't do it.
Like at your child's birthday party.
Oh my, okay. Since we're still in a tangent, let's additionally add a tangent so people know why you need to get yourself a mom best friend. Last weekend was my daughter's 4th birthday. I had such a bad migraine that I had like vertigo, like literally couldn't see straight. Things were fuzzy. And I was Ralphin. And I was also out of Zofran, the anti-nausea medication that is, it's everything to us.
The Lord and Savior.
The Lord, if you had hyperemesis, you know Zofran well.
Your BFFs. The taste of it gives me like the.
I feel warm and safe and secure. Yeah.
Snuggle with it. Like,
I want to snuggle. Pick your husband out of bed and snuggle your Zofran prescription. I'm feeling randy.
Please don't leave, people. We're going somewhere with this. We're gonna tell you a story. We're not just gonna make out with our Zofran.
I would. Anyway, I was struggling. I couldn't stand up. And so Miranda, without me asking, swooped in. First of all, when she got there, my dishes weren't done. She did my dishes. She cleaned up my kitchen so that when other people came over, it was presentable for a party. We had like 30 people over. You made 4 pizzas. You handled the mimosa bar and all of the drink supplies. You re-iced people's drinks. It was like you were part of my family. You were just like, hey, how's it going? Hey, you want some ice? Hey. And they were just like,
I was the party staff.
Don't call yourself.
No, I like that because, like I said to you, when I have jobs, then I don't feel as much pressure to awkwardly ask people inappropriate questions about themselves and their lives. So then I'm like, I can't get into your trauma right now because I'm cooking pizzas.
Don't get me wrong, I can smell the trauma on you.
I can smell it from a mile away, but I can't do it right now because Mackenzie can't stand up and she has 14 children in her home right now.
There were so many kids. And so I needed to excuse myself a couple times just for a quick puke party. And I genuinely have a very fuzzy memory of this party. I will look back at pictures of it and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad somebody did that. Like present opening.
You did it.
You sat down.
Yeah.
I was so sick. So God bless.
Yeah.
That was so helpful.
Got your back.
And you have 3 kids, like your 3 kids were at the party.
Yeah.
So they
were, your mom was entertaining them though.
My mom loves your kids, dude.
She took all 5 downstairs for like a long time.
Yeah.
I got worried. I was like, is she okay down there?
She is some sort of supreme. She is so good with kids. She has like a kid vibe that like, yeah, she had all 5 kids down there for a while. And she's like 63, 64. I don't remember how old she is. Sorry, mom. And she came up and she was like, what?
Yeah. She was like so happy and just like ready for the party.
Amazing.
After like literally probably 30 minutes alone with all 5 of our children.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Hux was looking for something. And he was looking all over your home. He disappeared for a while. No one knew where he was. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I was looking for a...
I know, yeah.
And like, it was never clear what he was actually looking for. He was just like roaming your home by himself.
Yeah. Which he didn't make it messy, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I think he was looking. So I've been saving Pokemon cards for him, and I couldn't find one of the stacks. And I think he was looking in the girl. That's where I found it. Was looking for in the girls' room, and I'm pretty sure it was for the Pokemon cards.
Okay, so he maybe only disturbed your sick husband a time or two looking for this.
He wouldn't remember. He was so sick too.
Oh
yeah, yeah. And then the people came over, and we thought what was a migraine and gluten intolerance, I think, was probably actually the flu that we gave you guys.
Maybe.
And my folks.
Oh, your parents got it too.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry about that. So, tangent upon tangent aside, we've covered the window of tolerance.
And, we defined what DBT is. So we've given a couple explanations. You talked about brain stuff. Like, we're getting there.
Yeah. We're getting your money's worth, people.
Super informative here.
Super informative. But these are the things like we're tracking. I mean, to be honest, I'm not tracking my window of tolerance all of the time.
No.
I don't know anybody who can, unless you're like a monk or like a very extremely trained mindfulness guru.
Yeah. It wouldn't even be healthy to be tracking it all the time. You'd be obsessed with it and it wouldn't be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are the things, like, take a break in your day and just check in with your thoughts, your emotions, and your body sensations. Those are the three things that inform where you're at in your window of tolerance. If you check in and you see, oh, I've got like some tummy butterflies. Usually I feel that way when I'm anxious. What do I need to do to cope when I'm anxious? And so that's where you kind of want to tap into the frontal lobe. When you notice the reptilian brain and your midbrain are kind of taking over, do something in your frontal lobe. It could be seriously as easy as doing the alphabet, counting to 10, anything that is like frontal lobe, logic brained sort of thing. I tell my clients to do like Sudoku, crossword puzzles, and I always get the reaction of like, that's it. And I'm like, that is all that it takes for you to use chemicals in your frontal lobe. That's all that it is. It's not like the harder you think, the faster your emotions calm down. It's just everything in your brain is a chemical reaction.
I like to make my like Target list or my Costco order. Like, it's like kind of a sick habit of mine to just like pull open my Walmart app and like add things to my cart that I need for the next time I go pick up groceries. Like, oh yeah, we needed cheese. We needed $87 more of fruit.
Yes, and you're making your list and you get a little anxious and angry about fruit prices, and then you pendulate back. Let's talk about pendulation. I love pendulation.
Me too. Such a good one. So a pendulum, right? Swings back and forth. And that's what we do with pendulation. We shift between experiencing and containing what we're feeling. And we do so purposefully and intentionally. And it's not helpful for us to be in one or the other all the time because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be always experiencing what I'm feeling. That sounds dreadful.
I work pretty hard not to.
I'm really good at containment. And most of us are, right? Like we hang out over there a lot on the containment side of things. And if we don't pendulate and shift over to experiencing sometimes, then we shift up in our window of tolerance. And then at a time that we have not chosen and may not be super helpful or effective or safe or, ideal, we have an emotional outburst because we can't contain our container bursts.
And the pendulum swing like changes in greatness. So You want to find your ideal pendulum swing. How much time can you spend in containment before you're out of your window of tolerance? And how much time can you spend in experiencing and stay in your window of tolerance? As a professional container, and that's just a nice way of saying I stuff a lot.
Same.
I am not comfortable with emotion. So I spend a lot of time in containment. So when I like dip into experiencing, it's usually a really big experience. And I'm crying about a commercial. And I'm like, this is not a congruent response to a commercial. But because I haven't experienced in so long, my amygdala got a taste of me crying and releasing energy that it was like, we're going to flood you now.
It was like, dig its claws in, and it's going to hold on until you can pry off every last finger.
That's such a good image for how that feels.
And sometimes it's sadness, but also sometimes it's like rage.
Oh, rage is probably my hardest. It's so real.
Like you've been containing and containing and containing, and then someone says something with like a tone that doesn't. And you just like lose your mind. May or may not have happened to me recently. I mean, I say this to clients all the time, and I get so pissy when I realize it actually does apply to me as well. But like, just because I avoid something does not mean it goes away. So the irritation or the sadness or the whatever that we feel, we stuff it down, and it's still there, just waiting for its opportunity to come bursting through the door like the Kool-Aid guy.
Yeah. We hope this was helpful. We hope that the tangents entertained you and the topic at hand informed you.
Helpful and entertaining. I mean, we're nothing if not hilarious. Like, I feel like we are really funny. So
that's the most common feedback we get.
From each other to each other.
We really only talk to one another and our kids, so we're pretty safe in our little bubble.
We tell each other and ourselves a lot that we're really funny and that this podcast is really good. So
yeah.
Oh, really?
Truly. Hey, if you liked this, if you like our other episodes, give us a 5-star rating. That's really helpful. It boosts us up when we have nothing. What? We also love when you follow us and like our content. You check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Just Don't Eff Us Up Pod. We're also on YouTube now. Just search Just Don't Eff Them Up. We're on Apple and Spotify.
Yep.
And really, we make a lot of jokes that we're doing this so people like us. And that's only probably 75% of it. The other 25% hopes that you're getting something out of this, because we are not nothing if caring. That's why we work in mental health, doing really hard work for shit money.
We're givers. We
want this to be helpful for you. We want this to be informative. We want you to have more joyful moments parenting. We wanted it so bad we started a podcast.
Honestly, it has helped.
Oh my God, yeah.
I've learned so many amazing things.
Yeah.
From our many amazing guests. So
we've been so lucky, like serious experts.
So lucky. All right. Well, thanks for being here. Hopefully you made it this far, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.